Hey guys, it is me, HappyCairek, and welcome to Last Day on Earth Survival. So today we'll be fighting this Consilium boss. We'll be searching for the easiest and cheapest way to kill it, and we will also be doing these 3 daily tasks, and I have a bunch of tips and tricks about these daily tasks. So the first very important tip and trick about these daily tasks is the kind of armor that you take to do those daily tasks. As you can see, all I have here is just these anti-spore pants and these anti-spore boots. Then I have like whatever basic jacket, and on top of that I've equipped this hazmat helmet, and I have 11 spore protection, and 11 spore protection is enough for us to clear this old mine. It's also enough for us to go and clear the sand quarry, so I don't need to bring the entire anti-spore armor. In order to go to this dead island though, you have to have 18 spore protection, and luckily it's not that difficult to get that. All we need is just to equip this enhanced anti-spore jacket, and then I can equip this CBRN combat helmet, and boom, we have 18 spore protection. As you can see, I don't have to clutter my inventory with a bunch of different sets of armor. And if you don't have this CBRN combat helmet, you can just craft this enhanced anti-spore mask. It's not that expensive. So as you can see, you have a lot more space instead of bringing like 3 different sets of armor. Plus, you save a lot of energy that way. But hey, let's begin our daily tasks and let's go to the sand quarry. So whenever you're in the sand quarry and you have to do those tasks, you have to have 10 protection. Wait, I'm gonna equip this, and there is this spore spitter coming out of nowhere. So you always have to look at that mini-map every time you're... Okay, there we go. There's another one. Let's deal with the spore spitter. So, as I was saying, every time you're either in the old mine or in the dead island, there will be these spore spitters. So be very careful. Always look at that map. Always anticipate these spore spitters. And when you have to do daily tasks inside of the sand quarry, there will also be these spore spitters. So be careful. And when you have to do daily tasks inside of the sand quarry, you have to have 10 spore protection. So that's what we have, 10 spore protection. But the goal is very simple. I gotta go and kill now these spore wolves. And that's about it. Then I'll be able to just leave this place. I'm not here to farm the sand quarry. I farmed enough of these sand quarries. I'm just here to do my daily tasks. There we go. One of the spore wolves is dead. It's awesome to kill these spore wolves because we are getting a bit of leather. So that's not that bad. There we go. We probably have another spore wolf up there. And always pay attention to the minimap. There might be those spore spitters coming out of nowhere. Well, they don't really come out of nowhere. They just have like an insane vision for some reason. They have a lot of range. What if I stand up here? Oh, there we go. Look at this. You see, I stood up and there was the spore spitter coming out of, again, not really nowhere. But the spore spitter did come out to attack me. These spore spitters are quite easy. You could probably even use like melee weapons to kill them, but I really wouldn't bother. These pistols are all right. But if you want to use melee weapons, you can use melee weapons. We got a spore wolf here, and I don't want to trigger another spore wolf. So I'm just going to stand up to trigger the only spore wolf. There we go. The spore wolf was dead. Let's grab the leather. And we have 3 more spore wolves. There we go. Let's grab this. We got another one. I do like this task, because that way you get to get a lot of leather, plus you complete the daily task, and you always need this leather to craft these pistols. So that's not bad. We also have a chest here. Might as well load it. There we go. We've gotten a bit of spore sides. That's nice, because we will need these spore sides to fight the boss. So I will be crafting this anti-spore rifle, because you will require to have this anti-spore rifle to kill the boss. Okay, there's the spore bloater. Definitely don't need that. And as always, to locate these wolves easier, just click on the task here, and you will be able to see where those wolves are located. There we go. There's one more wolf. I don't think I'll be able to sneak attack it. Or maybe I should be able to sneak attack this wolf. There we go. I was able to sneak attack that wolf. Oh, let's deal with this guy, because these spore bloaters don't really have a lot of vision. They don't really come after you that fast, so you can definitely get closer to them. But hey, let's loot the last chest, and we've gotten a bit of food and some more thick hides. And just like that, the sand quarry task is over. Now, task number 2, we gotta collect algae. There we go. All we gotta do is just collect some algae. So this task is very simple. Look at this. As soon as we spawn, there's this spore spitter. Always anticipate these spore spitters. They will be here, and there we go. The spore spitter is dead. Always bring 1 inhaler. I have no idea how I stepped on that goop, but hey. Always bring inhalers just in case. You gotta be ready. You might not need to kill both of these zombies, but I would advise you to kill these spore runners. There we go. That way, it will be a lot easier for you to like clear this entire old mine. You won't have to bother about it. I will not be destroying that spore miasma though. So here on the left, we have a bunch of zombies, because obviously they're protecting now this algae. Usually there aren't that many zombies, but for this task, it looks like we got lots of them. So how about I aggro at least some of them? There we go. We're gonna aggro the spore wolf. So I'll just try to get them one by one. The spore wolf. Good night. Let's grab the leather. We're gonna have this big guy down there. There we go. Let's aggro the big guy. Okay, so we did get a little bit of spore damage. That's all right. There we go. Bro's gonna explode, and the dude is gonna spawn 2 more parasites. And these parasites are also dead. There we go. At first, the island region might look a little bit intimidating, but it's not really that difficult. There we go. The spore runner is dead as well. Go on, dog, kill it. There we go. The dog dealt with the spore runner. And now we just got 2 chests. Plus, we're gonna get extra spore sides. We're getting bunch of loot. And there's 1 more chest. And plus, we can get bunch of algae. And inside of the other chest, we've gotten some thick leather. We've gotten more iodine, some rubber. And there we go. Let's grab all of this. And there we go. Just like that, this task is over. So we're done with the old mine tasks. Let's go now to the dead island. We have to kill the Spore Hybrid. So let's go there. And obviously, I'll need to equip the anti-spore jacket, the enhanced anti-spore jacket, and the CBRN helmet just so that I have 18 spore protection. As soon as you enter the dead island, be ready for the spitter. Look, bro already spawned. Hey, yo, this is insane. Usually you have to wait like at least a second. But the guy like spawned right away. I just spawned with the boat here. And the guy was already there. Always anticipate them because apparently they can be like this fast. They're usually not that fast, but the guy just appeared out of nowhere. I want to store some stuff in the boat. Bit of leather and these spore sides as well. There we go. Let's store all of that. And we got a parasite. We don't really care about these parasites so far. Let's loot the chest. And let's see if there will be 1 more spore spitter. So at the very beginning, you have to probe this dead island. What I mean by probing is try to run around. I would also advise you to kill this guy. Oh, there's the wolf. That's good. I would advise you to kill everything at the very beginning. I think it is very, very worth it. There we go. Let's kill these guys. There will be some parasites. That's okay. And the Spore Hybrid is straight ahead of us. Okay. Look at this. Look at this. There's another spore spitter coming out of nowhere. So what I'm probably going to do is leave this place. Also, I want to see what's going on this side. So we got the spore runner and both of these guys. So that should be easy. There we go. Let's leave this place. The dead island takes a bit of strategy, but if you take things slowly, you can easily clear this place without using a lot of healing items and a lot of armor. Because you definitely don't want to waste your armor here. The armor is quite expensive. There we go. Let's attack the spore runner, and there's that spore spitter. And now let's try to shoot this spore spitter. You always got to be aware of these spore spitters. Always. There we go. Let's pick that up. Let's pick that up. And what I'm going to do is just run around right now, just like this, to see if I can get more spore spitters to attack me. Maybe they will attack me from somewhere. Look at this. There's the spore spitter. 2 spore spitters are coming after me. I just saw that on the minimap. There we go. Let's deal with this guy. There's another dude that's going to spit. Actually, there are 3 spore spitters. Let's see if we'll be able to survive. I'm getting a bit of damage. That's not that cool. Let's see how we'll be able to do this. So far, everything's all right. I'm just going to go this way to stay in the corner. They will both spit at me at the same time. They will spit at me again. Oh no, my pistol just broke. Let's get to a different pistol. So far, everything is okay. Just don't panic. If they attack you, you can just leave the map and re-enter. I knew that we'll be able to deal with them. There's just 1 more guy here that will come after me. And we will be able to deal with those 3 spore spitters. So as you can see, it wasn't that insane. Took a while, obviously, to do all of this. But we dealt with all of them. And we didn't even have to leave them out 1 more time. But again, if you feel like you're getting overwhelmed, if 3 of these guys attack you at the same time, you can definitely leave the map and re-enter. And then try to probe this dead island once again. Try to run around the corners and trigger the other spore spitters. There we go. Once all the spore spitters are done, let's loot the chest. And also, I try not to destroy those parasites. The reason being is that if you destroy these parasites, they'll just keep spawning again and again and again and again. So I usually try to avoid that. Okay, we're gonna run past all of that, and let's go from this way. Okay, let's see okay, look at this. Look at this. There's another spore spitter. There is another spore spitter. We should be able to kill the spore spitter quite easily. Look at this. I'm standing on the goop right now, but I'm not getting any damage, and sometimes I still get damaged. In any case, let's loot the chest. The parasites are still coming after us, so we got to be careful with this. We got a little bit of food that I'll eat, a bit of leather, and I'm just gonna lure these parasites all the way to the bottom, because if you kill these parasites, they will respawn once again, and they'll just be coming after you. So it's better when they are far away behind you. So that's why I don't kill them. So I'd probably say the dead island is my favorite location in the game right now to clear. It's the most fun location to farm because there are lots of like different little strategies, and it might be annoying, but I think it's very fun. It's very engaging. I just wish maybe the loot was a bit better. Maybe you could find like a pistol here or something. I think that would be even better. But hey, we gotta kill the Spore Hybrid. I do want to destroy the Spore Miasma because I will be running here quite a lot. So let's pop this Spore Miasma, and then I'll have an easier time here. There we go. Let's pop this. There's also a bear coming after us. I do want to probably avoid that bear. All right, so those parasites are all the way at the bottom. Let's go up here. I also want to get another one of these, just because there will be a bear and the bear will be damaging us. Okay, so let's go this way. Where's the Spore Hybrid? Is that the Spore Hybrid? No, that's the Spore Bloater. I don't think I've even had this task about the Spore Hybrid. Okay, let's go this way. I don't see the Spore Hybrid yet. Is that the Spore Hybrid? Yeah, that is the Spore Hybrid. So we're not gonna fight the Spore Hybrid yet. I think the best way to fight the Spore Hybrid will be inside of this island. So we have a Spore Spitter. Will I be able to sneak attack the Spore Spitter? Yes, I was able to sneak attack the Spore Spitter. Let's kill it. And let's get another Spore Spitter because there's got to be one more Spore Spitter somewhere here-ish. Okay, actually, I don't see any more Spore Spitters. We did get more parasites, though. So I'm just going to wait for all of these parasites to come here. I'm going to lure them back, and then we should be able to fight that Spore Hybrid in this area. Look at this. The other parasites are coming after us. That's why I don't want to kill these parasites, because if you start fighting the Spore Hybrid, or if you want to, like, start mining halite here, or if you want to start mining titanium up here, right? These parasites will keep spawning on top of you and they will be ruining your progress. So this is how you deal with them. There we go. Now let's just hope that these zombie bears are not going to be there. I wouldn't mind killing those zombie bears though for the leather. But let's avoid this. You know what? I'm going to pop this Spore Bear just because, so that it's easier. Plus I want to get a bit of leather. There we go. Let's get that Spore Bear. Let's go to the bottom. And there we go, the Spore Bear is dead. Let's grab a bit of leather. And now look at all these parasites coming after us. I hope the dog's not gonna kill those parasites. Sometimes the dog is bad. So bad pooch. Stay in place, sit. I think it's possible to tell the dog to sit. Hey, yo, sit and don't attack anybody. Just sit there. Plus, but the dog's not gonna sit there forever. Play, like, do something, but do not attack the spores. The parasites, whatever they're called. Let's go up here. There's gotta be the Spore Hybrid. There we go. We could probably maybe sneak attack it, but I'm just gonna, like, start shooting it. Okay, so it's gonna go this way. What is it doing? Okay, let's go all the way inside of the cave. I think I want to fight it inside of the cave. I think that'll be the best strat, probably, I guess. Except it's spitting. It's doing these things all the time. Well, let's keep shooting. Okay, there we go. So it was good to clear out this cave. That was very smart. Yeah, the Spore Hybrid is gonna be nothing. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Maybe I spoke too soon. Hey, yo, bro. Okay, the Spore Hybrid. There we go. Let's shoot this. There we go. Actually, I fought the Spore Hybrid in the past. Yeah, he does that splash attack very fast. He slaps me pretty fast. There we go. Look at this. I didn't even have enough time to dodge that, but it doesn't matter. And there we go. Look at this. Bro is dead. Very simple. Took a little bit of time to obviously kill it. You can't just, like, go in and start blasting your guns. It's gonna be, like, very difficult. You'll have to kill every enemy there. You'll have to, like, keep dealing with those parasites. So it's definitely not going to be as simple, but we did it. Let's go now to another cave. There's one more cave here, and I am ready to fight another Spore Spitter. There are always these Spore Spitters inside of these caves. Okay, I want to let the Spore Spitter come over here. And if you keep killing those parasites, if you keep stomping on those parasites, and if you keep letting those parasites explode, then more and more parasites will keep spawning out of this cocoon, and that's bad. It'll be very difficult for you to go and loot these titanium ores. So just let those parasites, like, roam around the island. There are 2 caves. Just loot one cave, and while these parasites are crawling to another cave, just run to another cave. Keep switching, keep rotating. Everything's gonna be all right. There we go. Now I'm gonna lure these parasites this way. I'm gonna go to the bottom. And I'm gonna get some more titanium because I'm here. I might as well just get that loot because you're probably not gonna be farming Dead Island that often because it's kind of like, I don't know, difficult-ish. Not really even, but you're not gonna be probably farming it like 24/7 because you don't really need like that much titanium unless you want to farm it. But you will have to do daily tasks inside of the island region, so every time you come to this dead island, I would advise you to also go and get a couple of drills and mine all of this titanium here. Because you're already here, you used up all of the resources to get to this island, you've already cleared out some of the zombies, so you might as well just take everything. I think it would be silly to not loot all of the halite and titanium while you're inside of the dead island. Look at this. All these parasites are gonna go that way, and now we're gonna run to another cave because we still have, like, what, 1 more titanium that way? So we didn't even have to kill a lot of zombies inside of this dead island. We didn't use a lot of healing items. Everything is quite simple. Plus, if you ever have to kill this cocoon, you can bring melee weapons and you can destroy this cocoon with just melee weapons. Once again, just keep rotating between both of those different caves, or like keep running around and keep melee attacking this cocoon. It's not gonna do anything. It doesn't damage you here. So that entire cave has been looted. We only have like 1 more titanium to mine here, and then we have a chest, and that's it. Then we can go and fight the Consilium boss. There we go. We got extra titanium ore, and inside of here we've gotten spore samples. All right, seaweed, bandages, and other stuff. Let's grab all of this. So this is what we were able to get from this island. We almost got like 2 full stacks of titanium ore. We got a bit of halite. We got some of these like spore samples. I probably didn't even pick up all of them. We got a bit thick hide, thick leather. And hey, look at this. As soon as these spores explode, this thing is going to start spawning new parasites. That's why you don't let them explode. Because look at this. If these guys explode, this cocoon will keep spawning new parasites all the time. And if you keep exploding, the thing's going to keep spawning these new parasites all the time. That's why you just let them float around that island. And there we go. We did it. We're gonna just leave this place where we came from. I think probably looting it from the right side is easier, but sometimes it's easier to loot this island from the left side. So just run around, kill all of those spore spitters, and just like that, piece of cake, we did it. And the other most important thing is we haven't even used a lot of armor here. It didn't even come with the full durability armor. We've done all those 3 daily tasks. We farmed a bunch of resources, and we didn't use up a lot of armor durability at all. I've gotten some comments from you guys advising that you should get the healer's buff, the seasoned meat buff, because with this buff, you'll be able to do 10% more damage with your weapons, and it's a very useful buff when you're going to fight the Consilium boss. I've already fought the Consilium boss in the past, and I was able to kill it without this seasoned meat buff. So I'm sure we don't need this, but hey, let's just get it for the testing purposes. And there we go, we've just gotten the buff. It's gonna last for 1 hour and 18 minutes. We're about to fight the Consilium boss, and after trial and error, I think this is one of the cheaper ways, if not the cheapest way, to kill the Consilium boss. There we go. So at first, I'm gonna use this pistol because we got this pistol, and currently we do 45 damage because of the healer's buff. Usually it's 45 damage. So try not to run around this island too much, because the more you run, the more there will be spores on the ground. There we go. We're gonna wait until this parasite just explodes, and we will keep shooting this Consilium. At least at the very beginning. Later, you have to switch to the rifle and stay with that rifle, because with the pistol, you're not really gonna do enough damage to kill those scientists. Whoops, I just got a bit of damage, but hey, that's all right. So we also got the entire like anti-spore armor. Let's switch to this because now boss is gonna spawn these parasites. We got the rifle. There we go. These things are dead, so be careful. Okay, so he only healed up by 150. That's not that bad. We're gonna switch to this guy real quick and back perhaps to the pistol when we can. So the rifle does 60 damage instead of 50 because of the healer buff, so it's very worth it. Get the healer buff. Healer buff is going to be very important. Okay, so there's got to be the spore. Okay, so those spore things are at the bottom this time. Okay, sometimes they spawn at the top. Okay, let's heal up. Let's switch to this rifle, and there we go. Now with this rifle, we can just one-shot these zombies. That's why the healer's buff is very good. Look at this. We can just one-shot these zombies with one shot. Otherwise, you need to have 2 of those. You need to do 2 shots. There we go. Let's pop these guys, and let's go back to shooting Consilium. So now the arena is all dark. So be careful here because it'll be more difficult to see where you can't step. Okay, there we go. We're gonna step on this parasite. We're gonna use a bit of pistol here and there. We're gonna pop these parasites. With this rifle, we can actually even shoot these parasites in one go, and it's gonna be even faster. Check this out. They're just dying. The bro is just gonna spawn. Now dude is gonna spawn these other parasites. So with this rifle, it's like dead simple. Plus with the healer's buff, it's extremely simple. You don't even have to use these pistols. I just brought these pistols for the sake of like whatever. Okay, so we gotta go to the top probably. Oh no, actually we don't have to go to the top because we were standing on those spore things. Okay, in any case, let's keep shooting this guy. There we go, bro is at this amount of damage. Let's heal up real quick. Okay, so now we gotta go to the top. Where are the spores? Okay, there we go. There's the stuff. The white stuff. You gotta go in the gas. Sometimes it's at the top, sometimes it's at the bottom. But if it was at the bottom, then it's gonna be at the top. There we go. Let's pop these guys. Dead, dead. There we go. Dead, dead. Now we're gonna deal with 2 more of these. Dead, dead. And I actually want to get another rifle. And there we go. Now all we have to do is just deal with this Consilium. Should be very simple. You can just like stay in one place and just like spam it. All we had to use is like what? Like 1 entire rifle and like a little bit of the pistol. So we didn't even use like 2 full guns to kill this Consilium boss. And that was because I tried to use this pistol. It tried to be a bit cheaper. If I just used this rifle, it'd be like even simpler because you could just like spam and kill those parasites. Because when you kill those parasites, they don't really explode. They don't cover this arena in goop. The worst thing about this boss is when you step on that goop and you start getting a lot of damage, your armor will start breaking very fast. So when you have the healer's buff that gives you like 10% extra damage, you can kill those parasites with 1 shot. They don't really cover the arena with too much goop, and you can just stay in one place and just spam this anti-spore rifle, and that's it. The anti-spore rifle, as you can see, it's not that expensive. You can also use this anti-spore sniper rifle if you don't get the healer's buff. The anti-spore sniper rifle will do even more damage, but for that you have to have the titanium alloy. I believe that this rifle is kind of cheaper. So there you go. This is probably the cheapest way to kill the boss. You don't really have to like try to mess around with those pistols. Just use the rifle and the boss is going to die. Now, let's get the loot. Let's see. Is this time better? So this is my second boss, and this is what we've gotten from the second boss fight, and the loot is very sad. That's all I have to say. They definitely have to buff the loot. Instead of giving us 1 titanium bar, it should have been like at least maybe 1 or 2 of those titanium alloys. We should have gotten way more spore sides. You can get more spore sides from like any chests inside of the island region zones. Like, it's definitely not a lot. So this is how I would buff this loot. Give us a bit more armor, give us a pistol, perhaps a rifle, give us more of these inhalers, give more spore sides, and instead of this titanium bar, give us titanium alloys. And that's about it. I'd say the loot is going to be all right. It's all right that we're getting these gas cylinders, but right now you can get those gas cylinders from Bunker Alpha. But if they just buff like some of these key items here, I think it would be a lot better crate. I would also like to see more springs now when we need those springs to craft weapons. In any case, I'm going to grab all this loot. So the boss loot might not be perfect, but we're not really fighting the boss for the loot. I hope that we'll still buff the loot in the future. But the main reason why we are fighting the boss is in order to unlock the storage for equipment, to get more genome. On top of that, you can unlock some nice stuff for your true friend dog if you have it. If you don't have the true friend dog, you can definitely get the refined melting furnace upgrades. That stuff is quite decent. You can get the workbench blueprints and like a bunch of other benches here that you can see on the screen. I just need one more boss fight and then I'll be able to start crafting these storage for equipment. So we'll have to do more daily tasks. And I highly suggest you check out my video about the island region tips and tricks, or click here on the second card and you'll go to a recommended video just for you. Or hop over to my channel, go to playlist, and there you'll find a lot of other games that I've played here on the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, definitely make sure to jump the subscribe button, and see you in the next one.